Ho, 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 ho. I know we can do this together because I know this. There's nothing beyond our capacity.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is the Friday free for all. It is the free for all time. The greatest boxer of all time. Remember when Muhammad Ali used to say that? I'm the greatest boxer of all time. Love that guy. But it's not just regular Friday. It's not just free for all. It is Freaky Friday, folks. Welcome, Mr. Ooman. Welcome, everyone, one and all. Welcome, all the supporters. The private donator to make sure I've got beverages in the Prepared Mind bunker waiting for me when I get back. I want to thank Mr. N. Thank you, Mr. N. Okay. Man, unbelievable. I couldn't believe it today. I hope you've had a great day. I woke up at 0:30, drug my tired ass out of bed, climbed up out into the not so sunshine, darkness, and the thoughts just started hitting me. And then I thought, wait a minute. I wonder what's going to break loose today. I wonder what's going to break loose. Well, it turned out it's a Freaky Friday, folks. The freaks come out and well, that was the old song, right? The freaks come out at night, tat, tat, tat. Well, the freaks have come out during the daytime. They've gotten into TV. They've gotten into everything, folks. I say we cancel all leftists, woke-tards, ESG corporations, and politicians. They are a huge component in shit hitting the fan. And it's not hyperbole. I'm not having to make this stuff up. We know who they are. We know what they want because they're telling us. And I talked about it this morning. And I said, look, these communists have to be patient. They have to infiltrate. They have to take control of everything. And they have to get to the children. They have to convince the children that their culture sucks. Tradition sucks. Morality sucks. And substitute it with something else. Something that appeals to children, something that's, well, easier, you know, because easy is just, I guess, the best way things work. Anyways, here we are, folks. There is now a group out there that is nationally organizing and protesting against Balenciaga. Now, hashtag cancel Balenciaga. Because they want to normalize child pornography. And they did it, folks. They're stepping out front with their disgusting BDSM. And what that is bondage and slave master. Their ad campaign for children. No. Well, it's not really for children. Oh, it's for adults that want to see children with their little teddy bears dressed up in leather bondage gear. They are sick, folks. It has been one hell of a week. But it's Christmas time. And so I started playing the Christmas jingle. I wish I had something better to report to everybody about the world. Right? So I wish I could say, hey, look, everything's just fine. Everything's peachy keen. Everything's just great. But it's really not. These people are disgusting. They are perverts. And they are freaks. And we're going to get into it. The freaks in government who want to trample our rights. Well, Brendan Miller, lawyer for the Canadian truckers. Remember those Canadian truckers who drove across Canada to go protest the mandatory Jim Jones juice? Right? So the lawyer for them, folks, just went after the deputy prime minister. That's like being able to force the vice president of the United States. Wouldn't that be great to force whoever it is to answer to your attorney for the actions that were taken? Well, the government of Canada, well, that's part of their system. And he brutally grizzled her over the way government approached people who are protesting and called them terrorists, right? And said that they defaced and defamed and did awful things, right? Right. They defaced government property. Well, they said, well, wait a minute, the LGBTQ crowd, they draped their flags on government property. They put their messages on government property. Why isn't that defacing it? And of course, no good answer comes from that. And it's like, well, so it's not really the defacing of the property, it's the message. The government allows some messages and not others. The government allows protesting, right? You know, BLM and Antifa protesting, but they don't allow truckers. They don't allow regular people. Well, it's because they're fucking freaks, folks. Freaks. You want to keep going? Oh, by the way, get your questions in. Get them in now. Get them into Ooman. Folks, Ooman. He's got his blue wrench and he'll hit them out of the park. Does a great job. And yeah, you know, it's getting cold out there. And, you know, even the beavers are wearing little coats. So, yeah, Mr. Beaver. It used to be Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. Now it's Mr. Beaver. A lot of beavers up in Canada. I don't want to talk about this shit, folks, but we have to. Right? I want to have fun. I want to enjoy life. And I do when I can as often as possible. When I come here is to talk to you guys about what the hell is happening. Because I don't think you and the rest of the world are getting the full image, are getting the full story. There were underage students in a high school who performed in drag for special invitees in the school faculty, including the school counselor, right? So the libs of TikTok, which is Chaya Raychek, revealed, right, that a group, it's called Pulse, People Understanding Love Serves Everyone. People Understanding Love. What the fuck does that mean? Serves everyone. No, they don't. They serve themselves. Anyways, they held a drag show October 27th. And it's now come out, folks. They've been caught. They held a secret drag show that nobody was invited to unless you were part of the in crowd among the teachers. And students, folks, underage students, held a performance that took place on school property. And it was, folks, it was the brainchild of their perverted, sick faculty, and one in particular, Heather Baldwin. She sent an email out, folks, inviting fellow school staffers to watch the kids perform for them. Oh, and an adult drag queen performed as well. So, yeah, they're now holding these in secret. As much as these sick bastards tell kids, go ahead and start assuming new identities, assuming new genders, assuming new names, and we'll call you by those names and accept your genders and accept your new created persona. And we won't tell your family. We'll keep it a secret. It's just going to be our little secret. Now, when I grew up, they actually had an ad campaign on TV about not allowing children to have the sexual attention of adults be allowed. Like you should not be touched. You shouldn't be talked to by parents in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. And one of the lines was, this will just be our little secret. Right? And it was like, ew, that's just rather disgusting, right? Keep a secret with some old freak. Well, now old freaks in the Democrat Party, folks, and they are Democrats. They are socialists. They are communists. They want to destroy children's minds, and this is how they're doing it. They pushed kids so far, folks, that they're refusing to accept the name their parents give them, their first and last names. They're refusing to accept their identity, gender, race, color, nationality, everything. These people are freaks, folks, and they're pushing it all over our kid. Now, our kids, all of our kids, our grandkids. Now, get this, folks. The new Disney CEO has let everyone know, right, that he's really sorry that Disney has really participated and gone woke. So, yeah, all those woke Disney employees, they're getting a rude awakening, right? Because they're changing direction. Yeah, I really believe they're changing direction. They're changing their public image that's in front of the camera. But behind the scenes, yeah, the Disney Corporation has always had a different behind the scenes. When you go behind the pretty facade and you see what's really going on in the castle. Now get this. CEO Iger. Iger was formerly the CEO. Then they brought on this woke LGBTQ complete spam head, right? Who just went full guns right into this woke shit. Well, Iger is trying to pull back on the reins, and he expressed regret that Disney engaged in the high-profile fight against DeSantis. That's Governor DeSantis of Florida, which resulted in the state legislature stripping the company of its special administrative status. Quote, this is his quote, "I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle," end quote. Yeah, the state legislature didn't strip them of special administrative status. The government and governor of Florida stripped them of their special tax status, their special privileges of self-governance. And Iger, the asshole, folks, says, "I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle." So you see, folks, this is where I come to the camera with you and we talk about reality. See how this fucker, this Iger guy, pretends to be neutral? Oh, we want to come back to the center and be neutral. We don't want to pick agenda and pick sides in social battles. He's pretending to be neutral. I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle. He doesn't fool me with his bullshit, right? Iger, you're a mouthpiece and an ass-covering dinglehopper, right? To borrow a term from the Little Mermaid cartoon. No one dragged Disney into the woke battle. No one dragged Disney into the LGB social battle. Nobody dragged Disney into the courtroom. Nobody, folks, but Disney. Disney did it. Nobody dragged Disney, its business, its reputation, its agenda into anything. Disney declared war on children, not so quietly, with their child sexualizing content and their support of grooming techniques, politics, and groups. Additionally, folks, Disney attacked Florida by suing Florida in court. Remember that shit? I don't let Iger or Disney off the fucking hook. These freaks need to be called out for what they are doing. No, I'm sorry. I was sorry to see us dragged into that. You didn't fucking get dragged into it. You guys asked for it. You went and fought, right? You attacked Florida by suing it in court. No one dragged Disney into that fight, folks. Fuck Disney. They did it. Is this a rant? Yeah, this is probably another rant. Thank you, Charlanator. Right? Ooman says, I hear they ruined Indiana Jones now with the new one coming out. Oh, I had no idea they have a new one coming out. I really like the original trio. The fourth one was okay. But yeah, woke, and woke. Folks, the other day, some jackass professor at some college, so instantly you know, communist fool, right, tried saying Jesus was a transgender or some shit. These people have lost their fucking minds. But it is not an accident. It's intentional because they need to destroy our culture, our traditions. They need to destroy education and our laws because they have to do all of that before people accept their destruction of our Constitution. That's the goal, folks, is to destroy our Constitution by destroying laws, children, traditions, culture, America. But understand this, on the other side of that ugly series of events is a totalitarian machine that will destroy everyone that is a threat to it. Every communist regime, once in power, will kill, murder, mutilate, obliterate, and destroy the very factions that they used to gain that power. Hitler Youth, right? The SA German army was destroyed by Hitler, right? The brown shirts, they were all disbanded. Anyone, folks, that they needed to kill, they killed. The Soviets, the fucking communist Russians, Soviet Union, same thing, communists. They destroyed. Fucking Stalin, when he took power, destroyed, I think it was either 33 or 50%. It was huge. I bet it may have been 66% of his own officer corps, because he was afraid that they would come after him because they were used to gain power. And he knew that the people that were in power in the officer corps were placed there by the early communist regime as they gained power and supremacy over the people. And once they had the power, then they used it, and they didn't want anyone who had any idea how to have a revolution to remain in place. So they killed them. They literally murdered, folks, tens of millions of people in Russia. Unwanted people, unwanted military, unwanted government, the Bolsheviks, the youths. Chairman Mao, same story. These people are sick, folks. But in order to get to a position where they can control everything, they must destroy. And here are these freaks, folks, and they are not, shall we say, polite about their proclivities. They're not polite at all. I try and bring it up, not because I enjoy talking about these woke-tard leftist freaks, but because they're everywhere, right? They're in government. They're in high schools. They're in grade schools. They're in corporations like Disney. Unbelievable, folks. It is Freaky Friday. Get your freaking questions in. And I'm going to go one better. But wait, there's more. Biden's Department of Energy. Man, I don't know what he really identifies as, because he wears a dress often. He has a shaved head. His cranium is rather large and freaky looking, but that's just, I guess, the way it goes because it's Freaky Friday. He is not a normal looking dude, on top of the fact that he wears women's clothes and shoves it in everyone's faces. But he's also a pup handler, which means he is a member of this LGBTQI plus crowd that likes to engage in dressing their partner up in a leather mask that makes him look like he has a dog snout, and he wears a collar, and he holds dog handling classes and exhibitions publicly, right? In other words, it goes right out on social media so everyone can see what a fine, woke person this is. Folks, they're freaks. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, this guy, Biden's Department of Energy employee, Sam Brinton, he was arrested, folks, for, or he's being charged with felony theft. He stole a woman's suitcase right in the middle of the airport. Cameras caught him taking it, tearing the name tag off, and shuffling off with it. Well, he is now requesting that his preliminary court hearing be held remotely. In other words, he doesn't want to have to go back to Minnesota and be held accountable because he has financial difficulties now, because he has been put on leave for felony theft. Folks, that's grand theft. This is how freaky these people are. They think that they're so special that their woke social credit score buys them immunity from getting caught. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever the hell you are, Sam Brinton. I mean, women can be called Sam, Samantha, as well as Samuel. They're all Sams, right? Just in case there's any confusion out there. He goes by Sam Brinton. You aren't high enough on the power pole. In other words, this guy or girl or whatever the hell he is, pup handler, he is just like any one of these number of other people that once the government has true power and the person who has that power begins to exercise it, people like Sam Brinton will be pushed to the wayside. They'll be wasted. All of these fruitcakes will be wasted and removed. because they're only useful idiots while taking control of a country. Well, I got news for you bastards. This is America, and we have rights. Declaration of Independence is independent of the Constitution. It preempts the Constitution. And they can destroy the Constitution, folks. Take it out of the case. Put a match on it. Douse it in gasoline. Make sure it's all burned to a crisp. And you can do that to the Constitution. And by the way, we have lots of copies of it. But we always have the Declaration of Independence, which allows us to make another Constitution. And I guarantee, folks, the next time the writing will be even more clean, clear, simple, understandable English. Right? The government shall not. Right? The government won't ever. And anyone in the government who tries will be held accountable and be called a traitor. And they will face a military tribunal for trying to overturn our rights with ridiculous laws. Folks, rights are this big. Rights are enormous. Rights are huge. Rights is everything we have. Your entire life would not exist were you not to have rights. Government gives privileges. Here's your privilege, and if you don't behave, we'll take it back. Privileges are nothing. Rights are everything. Understand that, folks. That's why they can't take control of the government. They can't destroy the Constitution. It is the foundational document and embodiment of our rights put into writing. That's why it's been so hard for them to destroy it. That's why, folks. Right. Now, let's change gears. Where are we at? We're at 22 minutes in. Woo! Get your questions, comments in, everything. Now, Charlotte, whoops. We'll just take a question. That's right. It's Freaky Friday. We're going to throw questions in. I'm done. Now it's your turn. Let's go back and forth. Charlotte says, another prepper channel did a quick video on, is it too late to start prepping? Before even watching the video, my answer is no, it's never too late to start getting prepared. That's right. The Zelensky Ukrainian government told its people, it's time to get prepared. You better get prepared, right? We recommend getting prepared, food and energy and clothing and everything else. Do you think that the fucking people of Ukraine weren't aware that they better do something for themselves because the government of Ukraine is doing shit? Yeah, you think they didn't realize how cold they are and that the lights went out and that there's not a whole lot of food in the store? Anyways, it's never too late, but how difficult is it? Right? If shit has hit the fan big time, not SHTF light, which is what we have in the United States of America, but if you've got shit hits the fan heavy, mixed with hot spots of Mad Max, that's a meal I don't want to eat. Now, while we're on Ukraine and the need to prep, folks, the whole world should be prepping, not just Ukraine. I had to listen at a social function. I went to a social function last night. It was a kind of a toy fundraiser for children. And I try to do and go to these things because it's great. People are very generous and they want to give. And it makes me feel good to see them giving and to participate. Okay. I had to listen to some twits, though. Virtue signal about how they know Ukrainians that are here in America and how they've talked to Ukrainians who are here in America and how some of them even are Ukrainian or of Ukrainian descent. It's virtue signaling twits. And they wanted to talk sweetness about the poor Ukrainians that they know and their families and how hard it is. And I thought, yeah, the poor people of Ukraine. But they just totally sidestep, step around, forget, shield their eyes from the reason that they're suffering. It's not because, right, of just Putin. I mean, get this. As all of this shit has been happening, the idiot tyrant Zelensky, he is now going to ban the Ukrainian church. Churches these days are not responsible for ecclesiastical control. They are not theocracies anymore. They are more there for moral, psychological, and spiritual support of their people. They don't get to make the laws anymore, folks. We get to choose our own moral paths. And the fruit that is born by it is evident. The skinny jeans wearing, light in the loafers, Volodymyr Zelensky, leader of Ukraine. He wants to ban the church. He has banned media outlets. He has banned people and opposition parties who want to criticize him. How is he the good guy in this? He is now taking away the people's church. Remember this thing about, in America, separation of church and state? Right? We have that here. Separation of church and state, right? The government shall not tell people what to believe, when to believe, what to say, how to believe, right? What? Nothing. Freedom of speech. Freedom of the press. Oh, wait a minute. What is the press? Remember that? Remember that word, freedom of the press? It's right there in the First Amendment. If I want to declare myself the news, I should be able to declare myself a news source, and no one should be able to stop me. Even if it's misinformation, even if I misquote people, even if I am so ignorant and incapable of thinking that I misquote politicians, I misquote people, right? The press. Oh, wait a minute, John, that's you're close to engaging in libel and slander. Oh, you mean like the president of the United States when he called little Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer? And speaking of murder, what about all those children who have been aborted? That is murder. We want to worry about the free press and free speech is causing harm. It's harmful. It's dangerous. People might come to the wrong conclusion if they get false information. Oh, you mean like the kind of false information you get on the mainstream media, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN? Name your news channel that's still allowed, Fox News, that's still allowed to broadcast. Even Newsmax, folks. Even Newsmax and other so-called right-wing. It's like, wow, you guys just swallowed the whole thing. The fucking bait, the hook. Oh yeah, hook, line, and sinker. They don't think, right? Look out, folks. We're in that kind of a world. We're in that room now, the SHTF room. All right, man, who do we want to talk to next? Who's got something to say? And it is Bonnie Blue 2A. That's the Second Amendment. Bonnie Blue is kind of a Second Amendment person, right? Second Amendment, not just for hicks, hillbillies, rednecks, and swamp billies anymore. It's for everybody. It always has been. Thank you, man. This is what Bonnie says. Imagine if we could apply that same 1791 scale Justice Thomas used in Bruin against the existence of the administration state and all of their rules enforced as laws at the point of a government gun. How to approach this one for the audience general. Folks, there's a difference between the law and policy, right? The government has a policy. The Constitution is the law. Policy is set based on one's political interests and agenda. The law doesn't give a shit about your policy and agenda or your belief systems or anything else. That is the beauty and strength of a republic that has at its core and foundation the rights of people to exist without interference from the government. Now, the administration state, a government that is acting within its authority. Once again, the Constitution doesn't give the government rights, it gives it limited and specific authority. And so they can act within that scope, that tiny, it's supposed to be a very tiny scope. Government can collect taxes for the purpose of establishing roads, a postal service, a military, right? To get enough money to make sure the government can properly administrate and function to perform the tasks that are laid out in the Constitution. I mean, does this sound fucking foreign? Well, they've assumed for themselves a lot more authority than they have. And they claim that they have sovereign rights, which they don't. The only one that the United States government has sovereign rights in which they can speak to is when they speak to other countries, so that they stand on equal footing with other countries. But that power and authority to act in accord with or against other countries has nothing to do with the people here, who are indeed sovereigns above the government. But that's crazy talk. So the administration state is the state, or shall we say, functionality of the government that is acting within its confines, where policy allows them to decide, well, this is our authority and this is how we're going to act on it and with it, and should be within our restraints. But they don't like to use that phrase. So the administration state is the policy state, is the agenda state, is the belief system of people and adherents in a particular political party. Funny, though, how now they act in this administration state with a gun that they point at us and say, obey us, right? Or else. Now, that kind of reminds me of something else that happened this week and today. We have a changing of the guard. Thank you, Bonnie Blue, very much for bringing up that topic. And it offered a terrific segue about policy in the administration state and the agenda of these people who are running things. Well, yeah, there was an election, and the Republican Party is now the dominant party, the majority party in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. This is an opportunity for you and me, prep to action. This is an opportunity for you and I, all of us, individually, all together, to write, text, call, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, everything, send messages every single day. I mean, set up an email account with a list of the politicians, get their emails, and send out an email every day with your thoughts. This is what we think. We want our freedom. We want our rights. We want the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, all behave. We want the 10th Amendment understood and observed by the government. We want the government to pass laws confining itself, not trying to confine us, the people. But every day you have a chance to tell these people exactly what you think. Voting is important. What you do the other 364 days out of the voting year and the other 365 days in off years. One day every 2 years does not make a citizen, right? Be a participant in life. Set up an email so you can you have everyone attached. You can even make them blind carbon copy participants so they don't know that you're sending emails to others. That's the BCC button inside your email browser. If you use Gmail, it's very simple. If you use Outlook, it's very simple. Get everyone you can that you need to contact and tell them what you fucking think. Right? This is a great opportunity for us, and I'm very excited about it. Because the administration state, the policy state, the agenda state, the ideological scumbag state that exists needs to be brought down. Now, as the Republicans take control, we have a chance to influence them. But, folks, Kevin McCarthy, Rhino Republican, right? He's supposedly a Republican, but he's a freaking rhino. He's a Republican in name only. He has issued a warning, folks, a serious warning, that if he is not selected and appointed as the Speaker of the House in the House of Representatives, well, you better do it or else. Folks, this is who he is. Remember who McCarthy is. He lives with Frank Luntz, a grown man at that age, living with another grown man at that age. Draw whatever conclusion you want. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. But Frank Luntz is a mega leftist. Folks, I know Democrats. Like Jesus, I spend time with sinners. And I had listened to their bullshit. I told you I just listened to a bunch of these virtue signaling, wannabe lying bullshit people out there, right? Happens all the time. But, I don't believe what they believe, and I'm not going to live with them for fuck's sake. Anyways, McCarthy does. He has never stood for anything. Name one policy. Name one constitutional concept that you can go, oh yeah, that's McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy's for that. You can't. He's against the Make America Great movement. Right? Who, especially in the Republican Party, should be against making America great again? Who could be against America first? Why not? It's our country. How about this? Every single Democrat, give us 100% of your money and we'll spend it where we think is important, on other people, not you or your family, because you don't come first. Well, the government has our money and it should be spending it on us first. America first. Make America great again. Make America great first, and then we can help the rest of the world. But McCarthy's against that. And he has been allowing the Democrats to absolutely shit all over America, our Constitution, our culture, our traditions, our laws, and he has done nothing about it. Nothing. He's weak, folks. He's a weak leader at a time when America is having more communist bullshit shoved down our throat, critical race theory, anti-American propaganda and agenda, international globalist takeover of our medical system, our military, our industrial might has been globalized by these international scumbags. And what has McCarthy done? Well, the most he has done is threaten people, right? Threaten people. Like Representative Cawthorn of North Carolina, a veteran. He said, hey, don't you be talking about the scumbags in Washington, D.C. I'm warning you. And then he got Madison Cawthorn. He did all he could to remove him. Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy are responsible for the Republicans not winning by a huge margin, and certainly not in the Senate, where Mitch McConnell, another rhino bullshit leader, withheld money from Republican candidates who were Make America Great Again, because they don't want that mentality there, which tells you we should have that mentality there in Washington, D.C. This threatening everyone, if I don't get leadership, look out, is typical scorched earth rhino dickhead policy. Kind of like Hillary Clinton. If she doesn't get her way, people, look out, heads are going to roll. And quite literally, that has happened. Unfreaking believable. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Oh man, who do we have up next, brother? We've got doing stuff with Nikki. By the way, Nikki sends humorous anecdotes and funny shit all the time. She says, what do you call a redneck apocalypse? Armageddon or done. I tell you what, shit like that, getting it done. And Nikki did send me something today. And Nikki says, maybe you ought to talk about this, John, right? She played a game with me and said, why don't you, John, take a wild freaking guess? Sponsored by the Jim Jones Juice. So what she's referring to is a man who died, age 56. Former NFL player, passed away in his sleep. His name was Brad Henke, Mr. Henke. Former NFL player, folks. Now, Nikki says, hey, let's take a wild freaking guess. You know, why would you think that this wasn't the Jim Jones Juice or Jim Jones Juice related, John? And I would say, well, he's a male. And males after the age of 50 are more prone to heart attacks, heart disease, and other health problems. Yeah, we tend to fall apart as human beings, male or female, but, you know, especially men who have had a rough life. Well, he was an NFL player. That's pretty fucking rough. Additionally, professional sports players, when they get big and bulky, right? I'm weighing at a nimble 270 pounds right now. Pretty typical for me. The last, I don't know, last time I can remember, I've always weighed a lot, right? But when you're 6'6" and you're kind of large, right, you're going to tip the scale. Now, the football players, a lot of them can't be big naturally. They take steroids. They take performance-enhancing drugs and other stuff, right? They take stuff. Those can affect you negatively. When you're large, like I am, you tend to have a heart that has to work harder to pump more blood, right? Instead of, let's say, instead of 270, I weighed 135 pounds, right? I weighed half as much as I do now. Well, my heart would only have to work half as hard. So my heart works twice as hard as a person who weighs 135 pounds because, right, I'm big. So could Brad William Henke, could he have had a heart that's just tired and it's like, fuck it, man, I've been working hard my whole life and this big dude just pushed me, so I'm going to pass away in my sleep? I don't know if he had a heart attack, folks. I don't know if he had the Jim Jones juice. But he turned into an actor. And we know that many, 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 many athletes are also a bunch of woke knotheads who want acceptance and they want love and they want everyone to accept them. Right? I don't know. Did I go out and get the Jim Jones juice because I want you guys to accept me? No. Right? Do I talk about it because I want you guys to accept me? No, I talk about it because it's interesting and it has everything to do with where the fuck we're at in this country right now. So those are the things I'd say. Well, that's why, Brad William Henke, he could have died from the JJJ, or he could have died because he was a large guy who abused his body and probably, or could have, or maybe, or might have taken performance enhancing drugs. Maybe his family is health issues. And that's why a lot of the times, folks, I'll call attention to this stuff and say, take a wild freaking guess, because that's the best we can do. At the same time, people who want to be accepted are in the acting community, in the sports limelight. They typically want to do things to make other people happy. And, let's do what Dr. Fauci says. I don't know, folks. I don't know. But Nikki said, hey, John, take a crack at this one. So I did. I can see how it could be natural, and I could see how it was Jim Jones juice. But one of the big things I want to bring up is how many more professional athletes have died than normal. I don't know. What I do know is we're paying awful close attention now to celebrities, sports stars, famous people, idiots, politicians, right? And social media knotheads as well. Amongst which I am now included in that genre, because I am a knothead and I am in social media because this is how we are allowed to communicate. So anyways, I'm going to continue to take a wild freaking guess. And we'll continue to monitor it because it's important. Let us move on. Man, do you have something you want to... Here we go. This is a Friday statement and a half coming from Man himself. He says, I have no fucks left to give for whatever happens to any news personality, celebrity, or pro athlete. Well, I tell you what, brother. Ever since they began shitting on us, taking a knee, wearing fucking patches. I tell you what, I gave up on football a long time ago. It was after the Raiders versus Patriots Snow Bowl. But still, when I started seeing fucking pink shoes, I'm like, okay, I get it. We got to save the Tatas. But do we have to fucking make it a statement that we wear everywhere and that's a virtue signaling patch on our arm? Right? So, I've just had it with professional sports, baseball, football, hockey, basketball especially. Talk about a bunch of fucking sellouts, right? Well, John, you would sell out if they were paying you $20 million a year. I tell you what, I'm going to put it to the test. Someone bring me $20 million in gold, and let's see how long I sell out for. Waiting. Still waiting. I tell you what, folks, give me $20 million and I'll call that fuck you money. And you'll see what an asshole I can really become. All right, let's do this. Okay, thank you, man. That was great, man. I don't have any more fucks to give. I hear you. I know that all of us, you guys especially, are working hard. You're staying aware of what the hell is going on, and you're just getting kicked in the teeth kicked in the teeth every time. Oh, shit. Okay, well, Mr. T's checking in. Hey, Mr. T, thanks for all the work you do, man. He says this. He says, yesterday you mentioned Yuri somebody. Yeah. Yuri Brezhnev. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he says, I couldn't find him online. He had a series of videos to check out. He says, I think it'd be quite funny, though, if you had an idea for a new video, if you paused what you were talking about and said, hey, that's actually a great idea. Then you raised your wristwatch to your mouth and said, Supreme Leader to Mr. T. Plans for the video. Dr. Fauci, are go. And then you just go back to whatever you're saying without missing a beat. I tell you what, man, I love hilarity. I love pointing out the obscene stupidity of the leadership with our parodies, our satire, our cynicism, kind of like saying, I don't have any more fucks to give about these people. Anyways, I like your idea, Tim. Tom, shit, what does that say? Temerity. Temerity. Yeah, I have a lot of temerity, man. Anyways, there's more to the message, but it becomes top secret. And do you think you got the temerity to come off with that? Oh, yeah, I'll do it, man. Let's do it. Let's put something together. All right. Man, what do you got, man? Bonnie Blue checks back in, says, fun fact. This is interesting. I did not know this. Oh, I sounded like Johnny Carson there. I did not know this. Big Ed, what do you think? He says, Kiev. Fun fact, Kiev had and has the largest Messianic synagogue in all of Europe. Wonder what Zelensky is doing to it with his edict. A Messianic synagogue, folks. Go ahead and type that into your Google and you will understand what that means. All right. Wonder what Zelensky is doing to it with his edict. Well, as long as they are slurping the Zelensky Kool-Aid, which I'm sure is not very tasty. I'm sure as long as they don't say anything to offend His Highness. He reminds me a lot of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He's short, he's small of stature, he's got little man's complex. He thinks that he's royalty and perfect in his perfect kingdom. Give me a freaking break. All right. Anyways, Bonnie, look into that, folks. A lot of things I recommend looking into. So, we do a lot of research here. You guys do a lot of research and you send it in and keep me informed as well. But when you research things for yourself, you're going to find out and discover this world is far more amazing and interesting than any of us realize if we just live in these little shells. The internet has become a powerful tool that allows us to look outside that 10-mile radius in which we normally live. It's incredible what you can see, how far you can see. Uh-oh. All right, Mr. T, I've got the new disclaimer. Folks, we're going to have a new disclaimer, and you're going to like it. Uh-oh. I've got something here behind the scenes. Let's see. From man. All right, man. I missed this earlier. This must have popped up when I was fighting and clawing my way through traffic to get back to the Prepared Mind desk here in Studio B. Nope, that's it. That's the same guy. Brad William Henke. Orange is the New Black. I guess that's the show he was on. Gone actor. Anyways, we covered him. I didn't know that you and Nikki both. See, this is how this works. Man, I can see it, and you guys get it at me, and it's good stuff. And Uman, this is what he did. I'm going to say Uman did in Arsenio Hall. And I want to do this. Uman, I'm going to, if you like, we're all set. You can come on screen and join us on this fucking free-for-all Friday. All you got to do is click that little magic button, brother, and you can appear. I'm not going to make you come on. I'm not going to do it. Hey, how are you, man?
Oh, man. I started my last monster way too late in the day, and I'm all jumping on these questions instead of having a beer and being nice and mellow and getting the timing right.
You went the other way.
I want to put up a question.
Yeah, that's I tell you what, man, you have you've been very respectful of the power and authority that's been vested in your office, literally the office you're in. Because you can jump on.
I'm sorry, I got somebody just ringing the bell. I'll be right back.
All right, we're gonna. But Ooman, I know a lot of people have been like, "Oh, darn Ooman's, he got rid of me." He hit me with the blue wrench. Well, he has actually been very aware and cognizant of the policies of the show to let everyone speak freely until they cross those lines. And those lines aren't established by us, folks. No, they aren't. But we do at thepreparedmind.club, and we do at subscribestar.com. Those are the two places you can go to sign up for $2 a month, 7 cents a day. That's it. 7 cents a day. And you can be here live Monday through Friday and participate, share, and help educate others. Anyways, where's I going with that? Yeah. I mean, we have a very good crowd here that shows up on these platforms. Very few people want to actually chime in. The rest of them just sit back and watch. They got their drinks. They got their easy chair. But I appreciate all the private messages I get from everybody. And it's great. All right, Ooman's back. Ooman, when you're ready.
I'm sorry. This work thing keeps getting in the way of the interwebs,
Stupid work. It's been trying to kill me all week, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, you've been really good with your power and authority. I know that the whiners want to complain that Ooman's a bad guy, but in reality, I've loved having you there, knowing that you're keeping an eye on the knuckleheads and allowing the good kids to play freely. You are not a tyrant with your blue wrench.
I try just to be fair, and when you start hearing people screaming stuff that been screamed 1,000 times before, it's just a bunch of bullshit. We ask them to please, let's keep it real. I like keeping on the planes of reality, not that this is going to be the third dark winter in a row, and now it's not really this winter; it's going to be next winter, and it's
a dark, long, cold winter.
Cold, dark winter, yeah. All the same bullshit, and it's just people pulling stuff out of their butts, trying to get people worked up. And then you got the anger addicts out there, and it's just like, we don't got time for that.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, it's great having you here, and I like that, now we get you on the show from time to time, and you get to participate live, and people get to see you're a real human being. We're all real.
Real live asshole.
Well, we have our virtues and talents, and some people don't consider that a talent or a virtue, but I do, man. I'm with you.
Yeah. I just have problems when people want to start veering out of the realm of reality, just like when the whole QAnon nonsense was going on, I mean, we were calling BS on that really early on, like the first time they said deception is necessary or whatever, then all of a sudden, all these people that were so vested in QAnon, they were calling us commies and Nazis and who knows what other bad names, anti-Americans.
That's when the R Syndicate was founded, right then.
Yeah.
Not Q, believe in R. It's the R Syndicate. We know what's really happening.
Yeah. And then from there, it went on to, then you had the crowd that, oh my God, if you even question Trump, you are anti-Trump, you are an anti-conservative, you are a commie, you are this, you are that, you're the other. It's like, you people need to get out of your cults and realize, like, it's been a little bit of an ongoing theme here the last few weeks with this whole question everything, don't trust anyone stuff.
Right. Well,
and it's coming from both sides. You cannot trust the people on the right that are telling you just what you want to hear because it's what you want to hear, so it must be true. You still got to question that stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I had this fucking guy I know the other day says, I don't believe in any political party or policy or anything, and I don't trust any news source except, and then I was like, okay, man, give it to me. What is the one source of news that's unimpeachable? And get this, man, NPR, National Public Radio. And I just said, your wisdom is unbelievable. Yes,
it must be because they talk so nice and slow and evenly paced in a deep voice so that the slow ones can keep up and understand.
Oh, it was, I just was like, I was floored. And I thought, okay, that's where you're at in your head, pal. I get it. But don't try and criticize anyone else because they don't think that speaking in a very dry, monotone, erudite form is going to convince me that we know better than you. Give me a fucking break, right? So I think, Uman, by the Prepared Mind channel, we may hurt ourselves a little bit in the message because we don't subscribe to you have to love Trump 100% and you can't criticize him. And sorry, I'm going to criticize anyone. Elon Musk, same story. Interesting guy. He's great in that he's done a lot, but he's not necessarily a really great guy because he's done a lot of stupid shit too. This idea of putting a computer chip in your brain to control you, I'm not a big fan of that.
Now, just think about before this whole Twitter thing came on. All the conservatives were all very anti-Musk. Oh, he's trying to make chips put in your brain, and all this transhumanist stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's buying Twitter, and the left is pissed off. And all of a sudden, God Emperor Elon, and nobody can criticize Elon. It's like,
yeah, watch me.
Do you people even hear yourselves? Do you even remember a year ago, 6 months ago, much less 2, 3, or 4 years ago?
Right. Yeah. I know that he's enriched himself with government contracts and grants and contracts. And hey, he had that opportunity. He was in a position where he could do that with his SpaceX program and getting public and private funding. And, kudos to him for being a billionaire and all, but I'm not going to kiss his ass.
And Tesla would have gone DeLorean years ago if it wasn't for all the subsidies.
DeLorean, are you intimating that Elon Musk would be transporting cocaine in the tire of his Tesla cars?
Oh, yeah. That would have a negative interaction with the lithium batteries like the salt water.
Right. So, and Ralph Nader probably would have a lot to say about a car that auto-ignites and likes to run over old people and children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, look out. Okay. Thank you, Fuzzy, for your help. Thank you, Mr. Skylight, for your help. Thank you to everyone for your help on this. Do we have more comments, Uman? You can put one up, and we'll both stay on and address them.
Yeah, East Texas Country Boy has one here. So let me
East Texas Country Boy? Yeah, throw it on the screen, buddy. He says, research climate change, NASA, Venus, Exxon Solar, Exxon Nuclear, 1970s. They were the ones that helped kick off the whole climate agenda, then backed out of it, after which it was picked up by Big Al G, right? And we're not talking about Al Green. We're talking about Al Gore. For those of you who know Al Green, that dude is smooth. I like me some Al Green some nights. Anyways, climate agenda. It was started back in the 70s. My great uncle, Andrew. Hopefully that doesn't help people find out who I am. Yeah, great uncle Andrew. Anyways, he scared the living shit out of my mother by saying, an ice age is coming. An ice age is coming. So understand, even back in the 1970s, climate agenda and climate activists were pushing that climate change was occurring and we should all panic.
Yeah, they wanted to paint the polar ice caps black. You don't remember that?
No, I've never heard that, man. The 70s, I was born in 1970. So, I was 10. I mean, I know a lot of stuff from back then, but I was a kid still. They wanted to paint the polar ice caps black.
Yeah.
To help them melt.
To keep them, to keep the icebergs from growing too large and putting us back into a, complete ice age. So their plans were that they're going to paint the ice caps black.
I wish people could grasp how warm it would have to be to have wine grapes living in England and not dying. Back in the 1200s, the 1100s, 1,000 years ago, they were growing grapes in England successfully. The Vikings, they were warm enough that those dumb bastards could finally sail their little boats out into the water and go plunder everywhere. But shortly thereafter, we got this thing called the Little Ice Age. I don't remember ever, Oliver, hearing about it in school. In grade school and high school, nowhere did they talk about the Little Ice Age. That got so bad that in England, the Thames River there in London froze over in 1666. And the Little Ice Age lasted from like 1250 all the way to the late 1800s, and some claim the early 1900s. In other words, we had a massive cold spell. And we're just now continuing to come out of it a few decades later. And they're screaming climate change. We can't take this heat. This is horrible. And it's like, well, what about all the fucking cold that was killing people for centuries? The early American colonists came here right in the middle of the Little Ice Age. So when they landed on Plymouth Rock, it's fucking cold. That's why people were dying. They it was fucking hard living back then anywhere. Paint the caps black.
Yeah, and then the next major thing I remember about this whole climate stuff was back in the 80s when, the girls in high school were upset that they wanted to take away aerosol cans. Remember the big hair?
I miss that big 80s hair. Girls I knew would hang upside down on a bar in their doorway, hang off the end of their bed, and spray that fucking Aquanet in their hair, and that shit would be up. It'd be up 6, 8, 10 inches above their head. Not a fro, but just a big giant poof.
Oh yeah.
Man. Talk about sexy. All right. I'm a sucker for the 80s, man. I love that shit. That and remember when they started saying CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, which were used in aerosol cans as well as styrofoam cups, were destroying and creating an ozone hole. When was the last time we heard about the ozone hole, Dooman?
I think we stopped hearing about the ozone hole when global warming started.
Because the ozone hole started shrinking and disappearing again. And they're like, well, what are we going to talk about now?
We fixed that problem too good.
Oh, shit. Right. Yeah. And there was like, well, where the ozone hole goes over the earth, the sun rays just penetrate right through it, and it cooks everyone like a chicken. And it's all bullshit. But,
if they would just, nothing wrong with, okay, let's build our engines cleaner. Let's do all this stuff. But then when you put something called a engine particulate filter on my diesel truck that requires you to run some kind of rat piss through it and burn things off, and you reduce the mileage per tank by a full 2 to 3 miles to the gallon if it's run in a regeneration cycle. So how is me burning an extra 3 to 5 gallons of diesel to clean out the filter that's taking all the crap out doing any good? Where's the trade-off on that?
The filter collects crap, and then you put shit in there that burns and regenerates to burn the crap out. Well, where the hell does the crap go? The carbon. It goes right back out the fucking tailpipe. So you have to burn more fuel to get there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you remember water diesel from the 90s and then the early 2000s? They were trying they would emulsify water and diesel fuel together. Emulsify meaning keeping it mixed. And then they would run it through these giant fucking injectors. In diesels already have big injectors, but they had these oversized injectors so they could inject larger volumes of liquid because, but they would say per gallon of water diesel compared to a gallon of regular diesel, there's a lot less emissions. But it's like, well, if you're burning or running through the combustion cycle, 50% of your fuel is water. Of course, you're going to have less carbon and less shit output, but you're going to have to burn twice as much fuel just to get the same power and down the road.
Yeah, I think with the compression and stuff, they were figuring that when the water turns to vapor, that's creating some kind of an additional combustion. But bottom line is, if you're running a gasoline generator, it's not putting out as much power as an LP generator. You need more fuel. It's like 80% of the efficiency of gasoline. It's all about energy density in the fuel you're burning.
Right.
So.
Oh, shit. We've gone past an hour, man. Let's wrap this thing up, brother.
All right.
And I got lots of fun, man. Anyways, thank you again, dude. Thank you to the audience. Thank you for those who are supporting behind the scenes, making Cash App and PayPal donations, etc., and sending bottles of scotch. I love it. I need some of that. Anyways, man, you're the best. I'll see you on Sunday Night Live when we do the zoo, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. And I'll see you all there. Tell your friends, wake the fuck up, take action, and chance favors the prepared mind. I'll give you the last word, man.
I'm going to go trade in this monster for a couple of beers. And my son and I are going to start getting things loaded up before it gets too cold out there so that we're all set for the trip. And I will see you down south soon.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to it, man. See you there.
Ho, 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 ho.